and welcome back to the Mansfield Matters YouTube channel for this mini podcast, if you like, as we tick through the close season and count down to the brand new Sky Bet League One campaign. Every time there's a signing, the group chat will ping and one of us will join me for a little bit of a chat. Maybe one week, it might not even be me. If it happens whilst I'm on holiday in a couple of weeks, it definitely won't be me, because I like living in my house and I like various other things related to my relationship, which would disappear if I said, I'm spending half an hour talking about the Stag. No, we're on holiday. So, no, we will get to that if and when it happens. But signing number 2 has arrived at One Call Stadium by the way of midfielder Regan Hendry. And joining me, Regan Hendry, should I say, and joining me to talk all things Hendry and all things New Edition, a man who is no stranger to the YouTube scene. It's Nick of Mansfield Town Shirts fame. How are you, my friend?
I'm all right, mate. Are you?
Yeah, very good. Good to see you again. Nice little new setup that you've got. You've been doing a little bit of work at Shirts HQ, haven't you?
I've been helping Jeff Bezos get to the moon by buying a lot of Amazon stuff. So yeah, more lights. I watched back some of my old videos. I was like, it just looks a bit naff. So I've upped the lighting game.
You certainly have. It looks very different. It looks very, very good. In fact, what I would say is it looks very much like the backdrop in which Regan Hendry had his photos taken for the press in recent days. Was he at your house?
He wasn't, but I'm happy to rent it out if the club are a bit busy. They maybe don't want to open the ground. I'm down the road.
Well, there you go. If you need a secondary backdrop with a cup of tea on tap, Shirts HQ is the place to go. Well, let's delve straight into it then, shall we? And read what the club put out early today. And then we'll talk a little bit about his addition and what it means for the squad, etc., etc. And that is as follows. Mansfield Town are delighted to announce the signing of Scottish midfielder Regan Hendry on a 2-year deal. The 27-year-old joins the club following the expiration of his contract at Tranmere Rovers. Born in Edinburgh, Regan began his career at Celtic and after 2 loan spells at Wraith Rovers in 2018, made the move permanent in 2019. His time at the Rovers saw him win the Scottish League One and the Scottish Challenge Cup in 2019-2020. And his fine form in his homeland continued the season after, with the midfielder being named in the PFA Scotland and SPFL Scottish Championship team of the season in 2021. Trophies and personal accolades north of the border earned him a move to England in 2021, where he won Sky Bet League 2, the title with Forest Green Rovers in his debut campaign. And then in January 2023, Regan joined Tranmere Rovers, initially on loan, before signing permanently in the summer transfer window of the same year. Last season at Prenton Park, the technically gifted central midfielder contributed with 3 goals and 4 assists in 29 appearances. Manager Nigel Clough said that Regan is a midfielder who we've admired for some time and has impressed when we've played against him. He's an all-round midfield player who can play 2 or 3 different roles and will complement the midfielders who we already have in the squad. Nick, a good signing on paper and very much looks to be ticking that box of bringing that average age down.
Yeah, he's 27, isn't he? I think the left-footedness makes him a little bit of a more youthful Stephen Quinn. We hope he can be as successful as that. Sort of, by the looks of it, plays in that mould. Looking at Tranmere comments, they seemed like he came out of his shell when he played a bit further forward, according to what I can read on comments. So, yeah, I think he looks like a good signing. Left-footed. Could be a bit of a replacement for Boateng and Quinn. That sort of left-sided, maybe slightly more attacking midfielder. Maybe transition into that Maris role as well that was vacated by Keeler Dunn. So, yeah, it looks like a good signing. And like you say, he's not 35. I know he was out for 4 months this season with injury, which is slightly worrying. But, yeah, I think he definitely brings the average age down.
Now, of course, a few weeks ago on your YouTube channel, go over and see that Mansfield Town Shirts on YouTube. If you've not been and seen it, go and subscribe to him as he tries to get to that goal of what, you after 500 at the minute, or are you aiming for 1,000?
Well, but we're 520 something now, so I think 529. I think I looked earlier, so I think we're going for 1,000 now. We're going
road to 1K.
We've changed goals.
Go and subscribe to Nick's channel, and on there you will see a few weeks ago, prior to Ryan Sweeney arriving, Nick did a lovely video of top targets, realistic targets, and sort of outside punts targets. I can't remember. Was Regan Hendry on the list? Are you still 100%?
No, it wasn't. Now? No, my 100% has gone. It's halved. But yeah, I did. To be honest, I didn't. I think he only just became available, doesn't he? I think they tried to sign him. He wasn't in my thoughts at all. I hadn't really even thought that. I knew that he was there, but I got Sweeney right in my limited defence, Your Honour. I did get Ryan Sweeney right, but that was a little bit that was a bit of a tap in, wasn't it? Ex-Burton, ex-Mansfield, Fluffy likes a centre off. It was, it was bound to happen. But no, I think it's until last night, I hadn't seen anybody suggest him, so I don't think anybody probably was going to guess that Regan Hendry would sign for the Stags. But seems like a good signing, and everyone seems to think he can make the step up. But I guess time will tell. But yeah, I think it's a good signing.
Well, let's have a look at some of his particulars then, so to speak. 27 years old, as we say, 5'10", plays in central midfield. His career to date, as we mentioned, started out at Celtic in their youth team, didn't play a senior game for Celtic. He was loaned to Wraith Rovers across 2 spells where he played 15 games, then made the move permanent where he played 47 games and scored 4 goals. Then across to Forest Green Rovers where we perhaps first came across him in that title-winning campaign where the Stags, of course, got to the playoff final in that same season. 53 games and 4 goals for them. Loaned to Tranmere Rovers later on, where he played 19 games and scored 1 goal before making that move permanent, going on to play a further 71 games, not gains. You can tell I did this graphic very, very quickly, can't you? And 8 goals. Key notes in his career: capped at Scotland under 15, under 16 and under 17 level. Won the Scottish League 1 and Scottish League Cup. Won Sky Bet League 2, or TWI, if, again, another mistake I noticed. See, this is the thing, right? You make a graphic very, very quickly. You don't check it, do you? Screw you all. And, of course, named in a couple of teams in the season as well. So, promotions under his belt, good competitive level. And I think if you looked at Scottish League 1, you'd probably say that's sort of League 2, bottom end League 1 standard. So comparatively, you would argue that he's got experience at this level.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to all of a sudden struggle to play in League 1. I think what we've noticed this season, the difference, there has been I wouldn't say the step up is cataclysmic from League 2 to League 1. So I'm pretty certain he'll be able to play, and he's played in and around the top end of League 2, hasn't he? Or with Forest Green, League 2, should I say, at the top with Forest Green Rovers. So I don't think he'll be a problem. And I think sometimes the signings that go under the radar a little bit and have got a little bit less pressure on them are probably the ones that generally do better for the Stags. Looking back. And he was free as well. So
yeah, I think that's the key point. I'm excited to sort of see what he does for us. I think he's one of those under the radar ones. Not a lot of people had heard of Aaron Lewis as a midfielder really before he signed and things like that. So he probably sort of fits that mold. Not a lot of weight of expectation on his shoulders, but a well thought out side. And I think the important thing for me is what you just mentioned there, the fact that he's cost us no money.
Yeah, we're going to have to wheel and deal, aren't we? But the thing about wheeling and dealing is that the majority of transfers in the EFL will be free transfers. So just because it's free doesn't mean you get any less of a player. And I think the majority, 80-90% of our signings are going to be free transfers, aren't they? Clough's already alluded to maybe a loan of a striker towards the end of the window. Maybe we might not even pay for anybody in the end. So they wanted to keep him and their fans wanted to keep him. So I think that's a good thing. I think the interesting thing probably is, Craig, that who they're going to bolster the centre of midfield with, because we've got now Bacchus, Maris, and Hendry were quite attacking by the sound of it. We've kept hold of Lewis, who I wouldn't really say is a defensive midfielder. We've really only got Reed, who again is more of a ball-playing midfielder. Be interesting to see who Clough brings in on the sort of combative front, because I don't think this guy is although it looks like he runs a lot and gets stuck in a little bit, I don't think he's an Ollie Clark type player. So I think we still need some more in the midfield. But it's a step in the right direction, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think it's an interesting one as well when you look at the overloading, attack-minded midfield players. You reeled a lot of them off there. Would you be tempted to maybe move one out to accommodate a bit of extra wage? Maybe if someone came in for Aaron Lewis, maybe. You wouldn't want to see George Maris go. He's one of the longest-serving players. But if we got a fee for him, a little bit like we did with Will Swan last season, are we really in a position to turn it down? We really want to be making profit from our players, don't we?
We do. At the minute, I can't see anyone offering anything for Aaron Lewis, unfortunately, at the minute. I think he'd be the only one who I would say yes. Bacchus is always one for me because I think he's probably more highly rated outside of Mansfield than at Mansfield, if that makes sense. I think our fans, albeit initially took to him, I think he got a lot of sticks. He had a poor few months, and I think he came out of his shell towards the end of the season when the pressure was off. I think he'd be the one, other than maybe Evans, that people would be interested in at Mansfield at the minute. I think he would still garner interest being an international. If we got a decent offer for Bacchus, maybe he'd be the one to drop out. But we probably need another couple really in midfield. But then if we're playing this 5-3, whatever, 5-3-2, we probably maybe need to lose one because there's quite a few players that we've reeled off there who can. And you've also got obviously Dave who can maybe push into midfield if we're desperate, if we've got a lot of centre halves. So it's going to be interesting how he balances the squad, but I don't think we know what formation he's going to play either. I don't think these two signings have really given us much of a clue. I still think he'll end up with the 5, but it's both Sweeney and Hendry can both play in that system. So yeah, it remains to be seen what he does next.
Yeah, time will tell when a ball starts to get kicked, I guess, with that one, which of course we're all looking down to. Still no news on Nigel Clough contract yet, although he didn't appear to be at the ground today involved with this sign. If you look on the pictures, it's the lesser spotted Gary Crosby.
Yeah, isn't the Tranmere manager a Crosby at the minute as well? Isn't he the other Crosby?
Is that Andy Crosby, the ex? Man,
maybe only he's. Not only can he only play for teams that end in Rovers, he can only play for people called Crosby. He's on his holidays and he's got. It's a very strange one, isn't it? That it's done. It's clearly a done deal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like he's intimated it's a done deal. We've obviously not looking for any other manager, so it's going to be Nigel Clough. And Carolyn's dancing on a yacht and Nigel's disappeared. So it's like, well, what is it done? Like, why wouldn't we announce it? Surely it's. I mean, his contract runs out in what? It's normally the end. Well, it's normally the end of June, isn't it? So maybe they've got another month, but just get it done, get it sorted, announce it.
I don't want to, I don't want to do potential clickbait the internet, but there's a temptation here, isn't there, to say, can you imagine the end of June, his contract runs up and he's still not signed?
Yeah, somebody forgot.
Yeah. Administrative
like
error.
They never offer him a contract. Well, they never offer Alan a contract, does he? He just keeps coming
he
back.
Just turns up, yeah.
Maybe they just think that Nigel's going to turn into an Alan Wilson, where his love and commitment to the club means he just turns up. He just turns up, wanders into his dugout, starts managing. I don't know, but it's a strange one, really. It's like, just get it done.
Maybe that's the way forward, though. With the Alan Wilson method, just turn up until someone else tells you otherwise. Because after a certain point, you're not going to tell him to leave, are you? Because there'll be uproar.
No. So he maybe just needs to turn up and just sit in the dugout, and no one will question it. But it is strange that it's not been announced yet. But as far as I think we're all concerned now, it's a finished item. They just need to announce it, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure that might be the next video. Who knows what might happen? Although that said, when I spoke to Clive last week when we re-signed Sweeney, it was looking like the next one would be a goalkeeper. It looked like we were going to make like 3 signings by the end of the week. That went a little bit quiet. So anything can happen in football, and I guess time will tell. How are you wasting your Saturday afternoons then in the absence of Mansfield Matters away travel?
Anything that a 4-year-old would enjoy, to be honest. So, yeah, we often frequent anything that a 4-year-old would enjoy doing. Play areas, kids' play places. I do have a child. I don't just attend places.
Don't just turn up.
Like. Yeah. So yeah, just stuff with the little one, really. Bits and bobs in the garden. A bit rubbish, really. I mean, I've watched the playoffs, so I've kind of still been watching football, but like the Premier League and the Champions League didn't bother me for the last couple of weeks, so it's not real football, is it?
Nah.
So I guess sit and wait, make YouTube videos, update the website stuff, wait for the kits to come out, and then I'm going to start making them again. And then the fixtures will come out, and then we'll talk about them, and then it'll all start again. I think we've already got our first friendly booked in, haven't we? At Mansfield Matters away travel. We're
Macclesfield away,
or whatever it's called.
Yeah, 12th of July. We're looking forward to that. We're obviously in discussions at the moment over who is going to be the carriage bearer, who's going to be the chief driver on that one. But we'll wait and see.
It's not too far, is it? What are you up to at the minute, Craig? What is the head of Mansfield Matters Productions up to?
I'll ring Cam and ask him. He wishes. No, not a lot, mate, to be honest. Boring Saturday afternoons, taking the dog for a W. I can't say the word because he is in earshot,
Because
and
he'll get up.
that's just not a good idea. Wasting the Saturday afternoons away, to be honest. Taking myself away to Fantasyland, Football Manager 2023, because I'm too tight to pay for 2024. Currently with Everton in the year 2034. So I need a life, basically, is what we're
yeah, I haven't played the last one. Well, I think mine might be 23. I think I'm still in the 2030s as Dynamo Dresden, but I haven't played it for months. I have no clue the players are probably just still turning up. I'm not there.
So we are doing an Alan and a Clough, aren't we? They're just turning up.
Yeah, I've left them to it at this point.
Yeah, we need to get out of the virtual world and get into the real world, and we'll count down towards the start of the season and pre-season. Before we let you go and go back to the virtual world with what's now becoming a Mansfield Matters tradition for every time we sign someone or do anything vaguely. Nathan's on his AI song maker, which I find hilarious. Mystic Nick is on 50%. You are standing in front of what I presume is the Mansfield Town signing announcement backdrop. So who's next?
You know what? I genuinely don't know. I keep seeing the goalkeeper who almost garroted that guy in the head in that FA Cup game at Fulham a few weeks back. Everyone's suggesting we might be signing him. But I don't know, it's gone a bit quiet, hasn't it, I guess? Some of the strikers, I thought a lot of the players are starting to get snapped up now. You see it quite a lot now, pretty much daily, players getting signed up. So I genuinely have no clue who we're going to sign next, but you would imagine it would probably be a goalkeeper.
I think that would put our minds at rest, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And Clough kind of intimated it was a done or near enough, it was going to be a done deal. The player that we made an offer for, absolutely nobody seems to know who that is. But I guess there's still a lot of the players we're probably after are still in the limbo of mulling over the offer at their current clubs and also looking elsewhere at other clubs because they're still in that situation where they can. So maybe for the next month, it might be a bit of a slow burner, but Clough seemed to think stuff was done. So I'd also like to hear a few from the players that we're in negotiation with. Like Bowery's a big one for me. Get him. Why is he not accepted? I keep seeing Cargill rumours, and again, I know we get yellow carded on the Mansfield Matters official chat, but you see stuff about players like him, and you're like, well, we just need to get these deals done. I can see the card. It's very disappointing. I'll take the yellow. It's a professional foul. Strange, isn't it, that we've not. None of the players that we made offers to have accepted them yet, or that we know of. And I know looking at Instagram, they're all on holiday, but the likes of Bowery, I think Cargill, and is Macca the other one, are the top three. I think we'd like to hear them done, wouldn't we? And I think Dwyer is as good as a new sign, and I think it'd be nice to hear from him that he's signed. So there's still a little bit of stuff out the open, isn't there? It could be because if those, say, 2 or 3 of those don't sign, and he already said he needed 7 signings on top of them, it's going to be a few more backdrop requests. I'm going to start leasing this out, stick an extra tenner on the higher fee.
Yeah, why not? You got to make your money where you can, mate. You got to make your money where you can.
So I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Just to clarify,
after all that, he doesn't know. Just to clarify the yellow card situation in the Mansfield Matters chat for anyone that might be watching. No place for rumours because it drives us all up the wall. We all get an argument and it just gets boring. So anytime there's anything said that has not got fact attached to it, it is easily a straight yellow card. So we're introducing that into the podcast as well. One thing which isn't a yellow card though, and probably should be, is Nathan's AI songs. Nick hasn't heard this one yet, so I'm sure he's going to sit back and listen to it in just a minute. But before we go, because we'll end on the video on the song, remind people where they can find your plethora of YouTube videos, which you're going to be squirreling away making now that you've put Jeff Bezos on another island for another month.
Yeah, I need to. Now I've sent him up to space. He wants to go to the Bahamas, so I need to up the game a bit. Mansfield Town shirts on YouTube. I'd be very appreciative if you could subscribe and like videos and stuff. We're doing generic Stags content as well, and not just the shirt stuff, because I like the shirt stuff, and a select number of people like the shirt stuff, but it doesn't quite sustain 2 massive lights and a fancy light behind me on Amazon.
How long until someone in the chat goes, you should start a podcast?
No way.
You dish out your own yellow cards.
I dish out my own yellow cards. I'm already attached to a club.
There we go. He's already signed.
No rumours there. Quash the rumours straight away.
That's it. Like we said in the end of season special, he's on a retainer for at least 5 seasons. So long-term contract, mate. Long-term contract. Speaking of contracts and people who shouldn't have them, that person is Nathan Edge, because every time we make a signing or do anything, he's on his AI song generator. He's only done it again. Sorry.
Way, hand up he rises. Way, hand up he rises. Way, hand up he rises. Early in the morning. From Edinburgh City he came to play. Way, hand up he rises. Through Celtic youth he made his way. Way, hand up he rises. At Wraith Rovers he found his feet. Way, hand up he rises. Making midfield look so sweet. Way, hand up he rises. He's here, he's there, he's every fucking where. Hendry, Hendry. He's here, he's there, he's every fucking where. Hendry, Hendry. Hendry, he's everywhere. Forest Green came calling next. Way, and up he rises. 1 League 2, they were blessed. Way, and up he rises. Vegan club and winning ways. Way, and up he rises. Creating goals on match days. Way, and up he's here, he's there, he's every fucking where. Hendry, Hendry. He's here, he's there, he's every fucking where. Hendry, Hendry. Hendry, he's everywhere. At Tranmere he was loved by fans. Stamp your feet and clap your hands. But at Mansfield he has promotion plans. Stamp your feet and clap your hands. Now at Mansfield will tear the league up. Way, and up he rises. Taking the Stags right on up. Way, and up he rises. Promotion's what we're fighting for. Way, and up he rises. Watch him run and watch him score. Way, and up he rises. He's here, he's there, he's every fucking where. Hendry, Hendry. He's here, he's there, he's every fucking where. Hendry, Hendry. He's everywhere. And up he rises. Way, and up he rises. Way, and up he rises. Hendry in the morning.
I genuinely have no words. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.